everybody, and welcome back to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. Tony here, and I'm back on the beer. Happy days. With me this week, Scott, you there, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm here. I'm on the Coke Zero today.
I'm glad you had his zero on the end of that. Good stuff. Ben, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. Back on the beers. Bosh.
Excellent. Back to normality. We are game week 23 so far, the story so far. I see my own breath in here. It's bloody freezing if you're wondering why I've got a big coat on, a big conservatory. It's a bit nippy. Right. Let's have a look at how our teams have done so far this week. Who's at top of the list there? Scott, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, not bad. It's been a much better game week than the last couple for me, but it was an exciting first morning on Saturday, wasn't it? With all the leaks going about. Were you two about? Were you two available to do your teams when these leaks started coming through on Twitter?
Yeah, sat there waiting for them, refreshing.
Yeah, I was available too. Yeah.
Because I've already had a few people. I think I put a video up or a post up, and I've already had a few people say, "Well, how did you know about the leaks?" But I was like, "It's not me. I'm not in the know. I've literally just got a couple of Twitter accounts with notifications on, and obviously our Discord group are bang on it as well, aren't they? So that helped me out a bit, but it completely scrambled my brain. So 89 points for the game week, and it's taken me from 341st. Back to 268th, getting a bit nearer to where I want to be. But I put Edison in goal, and he wasn't part of my plans until next week. So I brought Edison in for Dubravka, and I ended up bringing Trent in for Gomez. Funnily enough, both of them transfers were going to be my transfers for next week. But because Gomez come down with the old flu, and then we heard that Walker was benched. I was going to be doing Walker in for a Stupinian, and I was going to do a City mid in for Palmer. But then I started panicking. My brain was scrambled, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring Trent in early for Gomez because we'd already heard that he was going to be starting. And then I'll swap Edison in into the City backline because he's obviously going to start. He's not going to be benched. Unless anything crazy happens. So Edison got me 7 points. So immediately done all right with that one. Trent, it was looking like it was going well. Got an assist quite early on, didn't he? But then went off at half time with a reoccurring knee injury, it looks like. Apparently he said he was fine to carry on, but Klopp said you're obviously not fine if you can feel it. So hopefully he'll be back, but I'm getting a bit worried about that one for next week.
He had a feeling in the same area that he'd previously been out with, weren't it? That's why he took him off, I suppose.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if he'll have a scan or anything like that, but it's a big double game week next week, and I think a lot of us would have wanted him. So we'll all be waiting again. But they're early kickoff next week, so hopefully again get them notifications on. We'll know. Vardiol, I've got him in my team and he was benched. So that's partly the reason why I didn't want Walker. I couldn't bring in another City player that I knew was going to be benched. Even though they will probably play later in the week. And then Stupinian kept with him because he ended up starting. I saw some Brighton page say that apparently Hinshelwood was out. And for some reason, that would make a Stupinian more likely to play. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to trust this guy. Kept with him 1 point again.
Yeah, we've well and truly broken a Stupinian.
Yeah, and I think he was pretty much at fault for that last goal as well. Couldn't track his man back. From what I see, he had a shocker, so he's got to go next week. Palmer stays, plays tomorrow. Saka, 17-pointer. He's finally repaid the faith for keeping him in for so long, and he's actually been on fire. Yeah,
could have been more.
He had quite a few shots on target as well, didn't he? And I was just looking, and that's 2 goals today, a goal against Liverpool, a goal against Forest, and an assist the game before that. So returned in each of his last 4 games. So he's doing well at the minute. 17 points. Foden with the 6. he's back getting bonus now. KDB was benched. De Bruyne just with the 4, another one off the bench. Haaland did 28 points, captaincy, which we were just talking about before we came on. It was 95% capped, I think, in the top 1K.
Yeah, I think I guessed last week about 70%.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be around the 70, 80 mark, but yeah, 95, I think it was. Jota with 11 points and Nunes with 10, both returning. So yeah, pretty happy with how that started.
Yeah, good start that, mate. 89 points. Yeah, stupid on. Onto my side. 2 transfers this week. Watkins to Alvarez, which is a little bit of a safe move. When them leaks were coming through, I just wanted a leak on Doku. If I'd ever heard Doku was starting, then Alvarez would have been Doku, definitely. But because the Alvarez leak come through that he was starting, I don't want to go too risky because I already had a few differentials still in the team. We having Cunha up top and stuff like that. So yeah, played it safe with Alvarez, and I finally got a keeper. We celebrate. Johnston's out, Ederson's in, and he gets a clean sheet. What a guy!
Nice move.
And it's typical that City keep the clean sheet when the bloody Walker sits out, Vardio sits out. There's loads of rotation at the back, and then typically that's the game they get the clean sheet. But obviously another game to come for City. Did you see Ederson go down in first 10 minutes with that kick in face? I thought he was coming off. He was down for ages.
Our luck.
I thought I've got a keeper. Oh no, shit, I don't. He's going. I thought Stretcher were coming out for him, but yeah, he got through the game. 7 points. Happy with that. Estupiñán stinking with team out. He's gonna be coming out this week, I think. I know they've got the double for the FA Cup, but not game week 24, game week 25.
Yeah.
And I was possibly going to be holding him, but he's done nothing. I think he's had like a 1, a 0, a 2, a 1.
Yeah, he's not broke 3 points since I've had him.
Yeah, so I think we put him in at the same time, Scott. So yeah, we well and truly done a number on him. Van Dijk 3 points. Obviously, we're not having Trent and he getting that assist early doors. I feared the worst kind of thing. If I like to keep it clean and Trent could bang here, so I'm quite happy to see him go off at half time. I know it's only a precaution. It's whether he gets risked with that Conor Bradley playing so well when he comes back into the squad from compassionate leave. It's going to be interesting that whether he just thinks, right, because we've got Conor Bradley back, we can just give Trent another week or so to rest or recuperate or whatever this injury is. So that's one to keep an eye on. So I might be quite happy that I've got Van Dijk as he's nice and solid, plays nearly every game. De Bruyne 4 off the bench, Foden 6. Palmer still to play against Crystal Palace. I've got decent hopes of him getting a nice little haul like Saka has with the single. This is what we've discussed. I know City still have Copenhagen away, so everything could change over the rest of this game week. But Saka's 17 points is a nice one. It means Foden and De Bruyne probably have to, say Doku or Rodri or someone like that, they have to haul now in the next game just to get near to Saka's 17. So it's paid off nicely over the last few weeks, holding on to Saka. So happy with that. My mate Cunha, went off injured. He managed to get 2 shots on target before going off in like the 20th minute or something. So he'd been on for a decent haul, I guess, but goes off injured. I'm hearing it's not really as bad as first feared. I don't even think he'll be out for a game. So, but whether he's still in my team next week, I'm not too sure. It's between him and Palmer, I think. Alvarez 4 points. Played it safe, a little bit annoying that, and Haaland 28. Big man comes good. Eventually left it late.
Where does that put you? Because I'll just look in your 8 points ahead of me, I think.
Yeah, we're very close, me and you. That puts me at 224.
All right, yeah, about 40 odd places.
So yeah, it's quite congested up there. Don't take much to fall. I think it was only like over 2 game weeks. Dropped out to like 400 and something.
Yeah, I did about
Doesn't
200
take much.
places in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but there you are. Yeah, 78 so far. Got the 4. I mean, the 4 City players that could really do me any damage without having 6 or 7. I think, other than obviously people that I've got Walker and Gvardiol and Ederson. If they can keep it clean in Copenhagen, obviously it's going to eat into my little cushion. But yeah, happy enough with the way it's gone so far. Hopefully fend off some injuries and I can get people like Estupiñán out. How are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, not too bad. Just get it up. 60. Where was it? Lost it. 68. Yeah, 68 points. Dubravka 1 point. Trippier 5. Got an assist. You've all gone about Trent 5. Vardy didn't play. Palmer to play tomorrow. Rodri, I brought him in for Sterling. Finally got rid of Sterling. He's thinking my team up. Yeah, he tricked me into keeping him because he had a good few weeks before these double game weeks came up, and then he's just had a few awful games, and then he got dropped in the last Chelsea game. Rodri came in for 4 points, ticking over nicely with tackles. Foden 6 points, De Bruyne 4. Alvarez I brought in for Watkins. Watkins was my captain last week, 38-pointer, but he has 3 single game weeks now with being knocked out of the FA Cup Villa, so I had to move him on for Alvarez. Alvarez has got 4 doubles over the next 4 game weeks. Hopefully, he plays most of them, or I'll have to move him on eventually. But it looks like he's nailed in the team at the moment. Haaland captain, so 28 points, and Jota 11 points.
Yeah, happy days. The Alvarez thing went out when we're waiting for all the things. Now we're going, like I say, sometimes these leaks are good things. Sometimes they can just send your head into a bit of a meltdown. Then I'm looking at Alvarez and I'm trying to talk myself so much into Doku. Not that I need to talk into Doku because I think he's an amazing player, but I'm just trying to talk myself out of going safe with Alvarez and thinking, is he that safe? And then I'll go through the Champions League games. I think with the 5 group stage games, he only played some like 56 minutes across all 5 games. And then Scott said, well, they had quite an easy group. Other than Leipzig, you'd probably think. And obviously now into knockouts, it could change. But I think I did hear the commentator say he started every single Premier League game this season. So is he the Premier League man? Is he going to now bring in Bernardo Silva midweek and give Alvarez that rest and drop him out? I don't know, but I'm hoping not. Now I've put him in, but I just have that fear that Bernardo comes in for that Champions League game. We'll see.
I think he'll go back to the lineup he played the week before when he played Bernardo Silva as the right winger. And Foden on the left, Alvarez and De Bruyne as the number 8s behind Haaland.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the attacking lineup I think they'll go for.
And drop Doku to the bench.
Yeah, be an impact sub.
Yeah,
and then
I'll think. Sorry,
go on.
I was going to just say you'd have to think that the 2 main priorities he needs to make sure he keeps fit is going to be KDB and Haaland. And either one, any time that either of them's going to get rested, it's going to be Alvarez, isn't it? If it's an early sub and then he was taking all the set pieces while De Bruyne didn't start this one, so he still looked really dangerous.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a conundrum on Friday. I had these transfers like penciled in from last week, but then I was like, Could I prepare for the park the bus in game week 24? I started looking at it and I was thinking, yeah, I could bring in the defender. I have to bring in a Man City defender. So then I'll go 4-4-2. But because I've got Trippier there, that's the reason I have to go and bring a City defender in now, because I won't be able to get 5 doublers next week. I'd have to take out Trippier next week. And then the more I looked at it, and with the news that Salah might be back as well, there's just too many. And obviously City and Liverpool defences are a bit all over the place at the minute with injuries and City's rotation. I just wasn't happy with a 5 I could pick in case they got rotated. And look what's happened this week. Walker and Vardio's been dropped. Yeah. Not dropped, rotated. I would imagine they'll come straight back in for the Champions League game. But yeah, I want 5 players that play both games, and I might not get that, but I think there'll be a few more opportunities yet in the season.
You really do. You really want a double Premier League game, or you want City to have possibly a trickier tie than Copenhagen.
Yeah,
because I think he does know that he can rotate in that game. He could play any mashup of players. I think they'll easily get by Copenhagen. And like you say, with the bout of flu going around at Liverpool, I don't think it's a safe time to play it. I mean, looking at the fixtures, it's a good time to play it, but it's not safe.
Yeah,
it could be an absolute worldie. You could put 5 in, and it could come off really well. But you've got to try and maximise it, haven't you?
Yeah, another thing as well with Liverpool playing the Carabao Cup in game week 24, is it? Hang on. Game 25. Week 25, they might end up dropping, resting Robertson or Trent, against Luton in midweek. Yeah. So then it's pointless smashing the part of the bus that week. I don't know. Gomez might play left back or something.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, that new kid, so might play right back. Connor Bradley.
Yeah, they've got Kunasai, haven't they, at centre half, who looks good as well.
It's definitely not as easy as it looks, is it? Because we were saying 29, weren't we? Just looking at your fixture ticker now, we were saying 29 looks like a good double Premier League week, doesn't it? For part of the bus potentially. But even that's got the international break right before it. And then that game week 28 now, that game week 28 is the one where we don't know what games are postponed or which games aren't.
Yeah.
Because the FA Cup still hasn't taken place. But I guess there's no replays, is there? For game week 25, FA Cup, there's no replays this time. So we should know after game week 25 what those game week 28 fixtures are. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it then only gives you two windows to kind of set your team. So it's not as easy as it looked.
Yeah. It's you said it very early in the season, Scott, about how much better you felt once you got rid of the chip.
Yeah.
And the pressure of, like you say, I mean, do I use it this week? And if you don't, Ben, you don't use it next week, and there's not much rotation. You Van Dijk, Trent, your City players, they play both games and they all do well. You just be like, fuck's sake, you'll be kicking yourself, won't you? But it is just a risk. Whenever you play it, it's a risk. And it's the pressure on the chip is because a lot of people have got a lot of points through it, and now the pressure is on you to select that correct game week and do just as well, if not better. But it's not fun. It's not fun playing it.
The problem is we don't know. We're assuming that they'll carry it on. And in my head, I was thinking, after we've had one season of these new rules, we'll have a better idea of when is best to play it. But I actually don't think you will. Really. No. It all just depends on how the fixtures fall. I think a lot of it does come down to luck.
Yeah, with having the European games included, the FA Cup and the League Cup, it's like there's no seasons exactly the same. No, it's not like FPL; it's just Premier League. You're gonna you don't know what's going to happen. Like, look at, for example, that season Leicester in the Champions League, they got the furthest in the Champions League that year. You wouldn't have predicted that, would you? So
No.
it's a lot more tricky to predict. It's better to know what, look at what you think could happen, and then try and work your team that way.
Yeah, definitely. It's like things like so when you drop into 5 at the back as well, you are sacrificing 2 attacking players.
Yeah.
So whether, depending on who it might be, but that might be Nunez or Jota or an Alvarez, somebody who could bang in a double anyway.
Yeah,
and that's always the risk.
That was the other one as well. Saka was one of my players I wouldn't be able to get to if I went to a 5 at the back for that game.
Yeah, and that'll screw you for the double with Saka, won't it? Things like that. And then you look at this weekend, which I know there's a lot of angry people around with. Say you was on the cut, so you didn't really know whether to play your part of the bus. You didn't know whether to drop to a back 5. But then you hear that there's no chance Anthony Gordon's playing in a game, and you've got him. And you think, well, that's made my mind up then, because I need to sub out Gordon. I'll drop a defender in. There's me 5 at the back. Part of the bus, done. And then next thing you know, Anthony Gordon's on the pitch. And you know, if he went on and scored a brace or something, it's just, how can you can't prepare for that. A lot of it's luck. And obviously, Howe needs to. I'm surprised he's not got a bit more stick for that, because it's a little bit naughty. They're expected to tell the truth and things they know. Ruling out a player, and then he starts the game.
Dirty.
It does sting. I mean, does it change much in like Forest? Possibly. Could.
Yeah, I'm sour grapes because I didn't have him on this, but I had him on another format, and I ended up taking him out after that comment. I haven't got anything nice to say about him. Don't send me down that. Don't send me down that route.
Yeah, I was hovering over taking him out of Telegraph, and then I thought, nah, I don't trust Eddie Howe. I'm going to wait and see what happens, because you can do the transfers during the day, can't you? Yeah. I was going to do an early one and bring in a Liverpool player, but I just left it.
Yeah, best way.
Should we shout out a few people we've got in this chat joining us?
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
So we've got Nathan, Graham, Basbestos, James, and that's it for now, I think. And Nathan again. Cheers for tuning in. And I was just gonna do a quick plug as well. So if you've enjoyed the content at any point throughout the season, or you're enjoying this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe. And if you listen on podcast platforms, give us a 5-star rating on there as well. Helps the channel out.
Definitely. Good evening.
And Gaz.
Right, onto the
Gaz.
all right, Gaz. Gaz Ball. Onto the questions then. DT Phillip. You know what I meant to say, Nathan? Best captain picks for game week 24. He got there before you, mate. Ben, what do you reckon, mate? Game week 24, tricky one, big double.
Ivan Toney?
Oh, God. You see his interview. Don't want to digress, but you see his interview.
No, I didn't see it. What's he said?
Just about, they were asking him about Thomas Frank's interview that he did. He's like, sounds like you don't want me then, doesn't it? It's just like, I can't make clubs come and get me, but I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Like these Brentford fans are like, they treat him like the Messiah. And he literally, he's disrespecting their club completely. He's a prick. I don't know why. They come with all this, like, he's such, the return of Ivan Toney, this, that. He bet on his team to lose.
Did he?
He bet on his own side. You can't bet on your team to lose. It's not like, footballers, like, there's been a lot of gambling through. A lot of footballers have a gamble. You want to go and back a few accumulators on League One and League Two or whatever when you're playing in the Premier League. There's no harm in that, is there? when you're backing on your own side and against your own side.
I didn't realize he actually backed against his own side.
Well, that's what I heard.
Mm.
So, I mean, that's serious, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like whether it was like backing himself getting beat off City, it just doesn't matter. I don't know. It's just dodgy. Anyway,
I'm in a couple of Arsenal groups, and everyone's torn. Everyone's torn on who wants him or not. I'd take him. I'd take him, but everyone's saying he's not the sort of character Arsenal would have.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's talented. Would you want him in the group though? Like when you're trying to have a tight knit, like a good dressing room atmosphere. Do you think he's healthy for that?
Would you take him to the Euros?
No.
I would.
I'd just take him for the penalty shootouts, the inevitable penalty shootout.
Obviously, Watkins is brilliant, isn't he? But like, I feel like Tony's nearer to Kane in like what he does.
Yeah.
But anyway, captain picks.
Oh yeah. We digress.
Who's going to say
it? You saying Ivan Toney, Ben?
That's like a differential. I was joking. They've got a double game week, haven't they? They've got Liverpool home, Man City away. It's a very hard double game week, but I wouldn't really bring him in. That's one for the Maverick.
Cheers, Baz, for that, because sometimes I soak in information and I don't know where it's from half the time. So when you're like, I didn't know that, and I'm thinking, I'm sure I've heard that. I'm sure I know.
Wow.
That is shocking.
Yeah, read it out. For the
Ivan Toney made 13 bets on his own team to lose in 7 different matches between August 2017 and March 2018. And this is a lad that Sky Sports have like, not just Sky Sports, but Talk Sport. Everywhere you've heard it is like, oh, it's the Messiah returning, and it's so great to have Ivan Toney back in the game. He should have been banned for longer. That's fiddling. It's dodgy. It's corruption. It's wrong. And he's there and then standing in interviews and doing interviews about how he wants to go to a bigger side than Brentford. You're lucky they've not. You're lucky they've not just thrown the book at you, mate. You're lucky you've got a job. And he's there like touting himself for all these big teams like Arsenal and Newcastle and such.
I think Rachel's just said in the chat that he was actually signed at Brentford, but he was on loan. Is that right?
No, it was at Newcastle, weren't he? And then he went on loan to Wigan.
Tony bet on both Newcastle and Wigan to lose games while he was on loan at the latter from the former in 2017-28 season, although not games in which he was playing. Deal.
Yeah, so, but then, does he know something? Does he know there's a little flu outbreak? You just can't do it. There's rules. I mean, you're not even allowed to gamble, like, let alone, like I say, there's differences, isn't there? There is differences if you're having an acca on a league you're not involved in, but backing on your team. I mean, even backing them to win isn't that bad, because you're just saying, "Oh, look, I think we'll do them." That's fine. Backing them to lose, yeah.
Would you back him to score Liverpool City? I could see him scoring at Liverpool. He battered City, didn't he, last season? Or was it? Yeah,
they won away at Man City last year, didn't they? Did they win both home and away? Can you check that up? Last year,
they did. I'm sure they did the double over them.
They just lost recently, though, didn't they, to Man City? Yeah. So captain pick, I guess you got to go Haaland.
Yeah.
And then there isn't quite a few ones. Like you got Man City playing Chelsea and Brentford at home, so you've got Haaland, Foden, KDB. But obviously, wait till a bit closer to the game because we don't know. You might hear something that someone might get rested. That's a problem with Man City. Obviously, Arsenal, Burnley away, Porto away. Tricky second game. Should win both games though. Saka, who's on fire. And then Liverpool, I think's got a good double. Brentford away, Luton at home. And then obviously we don't know if Salah's going to be back for the Brentford game. There's rumours he might be back, but obviously wait and see. Or you can go for one of the other ones that's been playing, like Jota's and Nunez's. Maybe Trent if he's fit. Trent could get 2 clean sheets and a couple of attacking returns over the 2 games. But like I say, that Conor Bradley might play instead if he's got a bit of a niggle. Just wait and see for now. It's a bit early days yet.
Yeah.
I haven't really got anything to add, but if we found out tomorrow that Haaland's out, who are you captaining? And Salah's not back.
There's a question down, actually.
Is it later?
Yeah, if you take Haaland out, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, he said if you take Haaland out of the equation, who would you captain?
Should we answer it now?
Go first, Scott.
I
think that was James Spurs. James said that.
I reckon at the moment, I'd go, if I heard if Salah was out as well. If we get a leak that Salah was out as well, I think I'd go Jota again. I'd give that man another chance.
I thought you were going to say Saka.
No, I've made this mistake before. Go for the guy that did well the week before. I think Jota's got it coming.
See, I won't feel bad about doing Saka. I don't think I'd be chasing, or like you say, just putting it on the guy who did well, because I think stuck by him. He's
Pens.
Yeah,
he's on Pens.
He took it with
Burnley
conviction
away. Yeah, he did.
None of that pretending that you're going to take it. Oh no, you're taking it.
Yeah, it's mine. Burnley away, Porto away. I can see him sneaking a couple of goals in them. You have got to balance it out against Haaland. Jota, if I had Jota in my side, he'd definitely be an option. Yeah, at the moment, as my team stands today, Cunha all day long. No, it'd be between Haaland and Saka for me at the minute. And if I do get Jota in, Jota.
Yeah, I think Saka's the safest one if you don't captain Haaland just for minutes. But I don't know if he's got the better double game week over the City lads because they've got the 2 home games.
No.
But it's just the rotation risk. Do you just want to get through this week with a double game week player like, say, Saka could be explosive? And obviously, like you said, he's on penalties. So, yeah, it's around that. Jota, like you say. I like Jota more than Nunez.
Yeah, slightly. He's doing really well, Nunez, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
It's nice to see because he's been getting a lot of stick for quite a while. So it is nice to see him doing well now because there is a player in there. Yeah, Saka's so safe for minutes, and he took off early as well today, rested for the double. Yeah. Tricky one. Just to touch on it, because obviously we've touched on Haaland, but you've got Alvarez, obviously rotation risk. De Bruyne didn't start the other game, rotation risk. Foden, you've got Trent, Saka, Jota, Nunez. Is it a time for the max captain?
Could be,
but I think Haaland's still the best captain for next game week.
Yeah, it's a chance though. With so many players having a double, it's a chance for you. If you do play the max captain, it is a chance if Haaland does falter, and his captaincy's at 90% again. And you have someone like a Saka or a Foden that completely goes off over a double, you could earn yourself quite a few position rises, should I say. Just as well, just a hello to Rachel in the chat, new to the Discord and to the Patreon. Thanks very much for your support. It's good to have you along. And thanks for the information about Tony as well. Obviously, it's knowledge is stuck in there, but I can't go start rummaging around and searching for make sure I'm not going to have any libel cases against me. Right, on to the next question. It's still DT Philip. We keep digressing with Ivan Tony. So next week, if Salah is fit, I'll be taking out Jota for Salah and Gordon for Saka. But if Salah isn't fit, would you take out Gomez? And if yes, who far? Scott.
Oh, you'd have to assume that Gomez would could be back. Hopefully his flu ain't going to be going on for longer than a week. But
honestly, mate, if it's anything like what I've got, I wrote sofa last night because I started to get rid of my cough. Honestly, just come back with a vengeance, and I could not stop coughing last night. I felt so bad on misses. So I just had to take myself downstairs about midnight. I slept horrendously. I was just coughing all night.
Actually, you were coughing on the last pod, weren't you? To keep moving out of the way.
Do you know, I very, very rarely get ill. I have hangovers, but I very rarely get ill.
You've been in Liverpool recently?
No. You know, it's not my favourite place.
Do you know what? I'd take Gomez out after that. I'd take him out.
It's been about 10, 11 days.
I would take him out for a City defender, to be honest with you. I don't think you can. You're probably not going to want to go Trent after what's happened to us this week. So I probably would just go City.
Yeah, you need to hear something about Trent, don't you?
I'd probably go Walker if you ain't got him already.
Yeah, rested, she'll be back. What do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, defo bring out Gordon for Saka like that. But the Gomez, I think you have to take Gomez out. I'm not too sure about the Jota to Salah because Salah might not be ready to play both games. They might even rest him for the Luton game and bring him in for the Chelsea in 25. So Jota might get more minutes. It's obviously we'll know a bit closer to the deadline. But I'd probably look more to taking out Gomez just because of his rotation risk now and bring in another Liverpool or City defender, depending on what players you've got in your team.
Yeah, completely concur with what you just said then, man. It's pointless repeating it. Salah's probably going to... He'll be drip-fed back into the team. He's not just going to come and start, is he? So, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, cough starting now.
Ivory Coast 2-1 up in the AFCON final.
Have they turned it around?
Yeah.
Have they turned it around? They 1-0 down, weren't they?
Sebastian Haller's just scored. The West Ham reject.
They could have done with him today, I think.
Yeah. Fuck. They could have done with about 12 more players on pitch, I think. Sorry, any West Ham fans in chat, but yeah, it was not a great performance. Take nothing away from Arsenal, though. They played well. Scored at all the right times.
Rice, babe.
Oh, God. Yeah. Just what you wanted him. Wacky wanted top corner, weren't it? DT Patrick. Are any of you considering rolling transfers if you're already packed with double game week players, especially with Liverpool and City players, Ben?
At the moment, no. I'm going to keep trying to max out the double game week players in my team. And obviously try and build budget when I can. Like I say, and also we can't really tell what's going to... Obviously, we can predict what's going to happen in the season, but there might be a few shocks along the way. So then the tail of the ticker of the fixtures will change. So then you'll be pivoting to something else. That's the great thing about Dream Team is like you can't plan that far ahead because it can all change.
Yeah, especially this year.
Yeah.
Scott.
No, there's very few times that throughout the season that I've even considered rolling transfers, to be honest. My plan, I had a plan that I should, in theory, I still could, but I was planning that I could get 11 doublers out next week. But then this Trent injury could have popped up. Like it just seems like nothing really ever goes to plan, does it? This season, there's always something happening, whether it's flu, whether it's injuries, suspensions. No, I won't be rolling it. I don't think. I want to get as many with Liverpool doubling, Arsenal doubling, and City doubling next week. I think you just got to get as many doublers out as you can. Which
Definitely.
I won't be doing. I won't be getting I won't be rolling. Sorry.
How many will you be on? How many doubles will you be on after your 2 transfers?
Well, if Trent's fine, I'll be able to get 11. I'm pretty sure. But if I have to move someone that's because at the moment, what have I got? I've got Estupinian and Palmer. They're the only 2 that aren't doubling. So if all goes to plan, I could just swap them for doublers. But if I've got to change Trent, I'll probably have to end up keeping Palmer when not great for City, but.
Do you know what? I was going through this in my head today about Palmer going back to City. Is it not written for him to have a little bit of a hole there and stick 2 fingers up to Guardiola, maybe?
He scored in the other fixture, didn't he, this season?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously, City will probably turn Chelsea over, but he's been so good, Palmer, at Chelsea. He's been, in their season, he's been absolute shining light. He's been a great signing for him. I wouldn't be scared of holding on to Palmer, weirdly. It's just that's how football works, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like we've got a Stupinian at the minute. Like, if you had a Stupinian as your only singular, you'd feel like you're stuck with him. But with Palmer, I wouldn't really feel like I'm stuck with Palmer.
Yeah, that's it. Like, if I get forced into some way having a Stupinian in my team next week, I won't really be happy.
Do you guys really think it's that bad then with Stupinian? I think his fixtures are quite good.
His fixtures are good.
Because the European games start, don't they, after 20? Is it 26?
Yeah.
Game 26.
You know how it goes. The minute we take him out, you take him out, he'll do all right again, won't he? It's just how it goes. But 8 points, 9 points, 9 points, 10 points. Bring him in. 2 minus 1, 1, 1.
Yeah. Yeah, Sheffield United away, Everton at home in game week 25, and Wolves in the Cup. Then a double game week 26 is Fulham away, Europa League. Leg, Nottingham Forest in 27 with another Europa League game. So it's not a bad little run.
Yeah, they've got 3 doubles in a row there, haven't they? 3 doubles in the Man City before the international break.
Yeah. Depending on FA Cup. That might be a blank if say Brighton go out and Man City go through.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. It might be something that re-interests you at the back of into game week 26 when we start looking at them fixtures and who they've got. Yeah, he will be one of them that you take out and he absolutely stings you probably. But yeah, at the minute, just going to look even like short term, and he's done nothing. Nothing. So you won't blame anybody for taking him out, would you?
Yeah, saying that to Zerbi, when he starts getting all these players back from the international games, he'd probably start rotating again in Europe.
Yeah, it's true, mate.
Again.
Yeah, true, mate. Right, James McClure. Bloody dogs, honestly. I've got James McClure. I've got Palmer, but Chelsea have some tricky games coming up. Then they're also through in the FA Cup. So is Palmer a hold or a sell? It is what makes the Palmer thing a little bit tricky as well because it's got the double at the end after beating Villa in the replay. Top player, on fire, on penalties. So whether you like Chelsea or not, he's always got that scope to haul even in a single week. So what do you reckon, Ben? Because you've got Palmer, haven't you, still?
Yeah.
What's your plans for him?
I think moving on for a European playing player that's still in the FA Cup, because they're going to got Man City away this week. Obviously, the double next week, but it's Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final and Leeds at home in the FA Cup, and then we got Brentford in game week 26, but that's when all the European teams start playing in the Europa League and Europa Conference League. So there'll be doubles there and Man City double that week as well. So Man City's got 2 doubles over that period, while Chelsea's only got 2 singles. So I think if you look at it longer term, it's like more fixtures to Chelsea's games. So I would look elsewhere. Try and get more fixtures.
Yep, Scott.
Yeah, I put down that I only think it'd be a sell if your team was set perfectly. Like we just said previously, if you've got nothing else to sort, get him out. But I think he's perfectly fine just to hold for a little while if you've got problems elsewhere.
Yeah, I think he's fine for a whole 24-25. And then I'd be looking, look, we need to try and maximise those fixtures. But having a single this week against his former employers, City, he could go off. I don't think he's like a big fire that you need to put out with a double next week, where obviously some teams don't. Sorry, 25.
You reckon they'll smash Palace tomorrow?
Do you know, this week I was holding out because I didn't have. Obviously, I had Cunha, who it'd have been nice if he'd have done a bit for me, but without having Jota and Nunes against Burnley. Obviously, the first hope was that they didn't go off on one against Burnley too much, and then the hope that my 2 in Saka and Palmer did the business in the singles, and obviously Saka's almost matched the haul of Nunes and Jota. I think he's a couple of points shy, 2 or 3 points shy, so that's good. So Palmer's really got a free hit in my team this week after Saka doing that, just to bring me back up towards the managers that had the Liverpool lads. So yeah.
Just looking at that, he's 89% owned still in the top 1K. I'm kind of glad that I'm kind of glad that I did have a fire come up.
To leave him in. Yeah,
if he does the business tomorrow, which I think he probably could against Palace, that will hurt, won't it?
He was 99% owned, wasn't he, last week?
Yeah, I thought he would have dropped a lot more than that with people trying to move over to City mids, but
so 100 managers took him out of the top 1K. Yeah, I mean, you can see that with a single. A lot of people just gone obviously straight for the City mids, and you understand why. They've got so many options there as well. Rodri, Doku, Bernardo Silva, even. That's on top of your Foden, De Bruyne. Yeah, I'm hoping he goes off on one. Like I say, it's still highly owned, so it won't affect it as much. I know Saka was a little less owned because people got rid a few weeks back, probably before he started doing a little bit again. But he's always ticked away, Saka. Ticked away nicely. But yeah, it'd be nice to see Palmer probably do a bit against Crystal Palace. It'd be nice to, because I'm off work tomorrow, so I'll be able to watch that game. It'd be nice to see the Rovers' young lad, Wharton, for Palace. See how he does in the Premier League. Right. David 87. Salah 12th man, game week 24 if you're struggling for budget. You could get him in with 2 moves, but would be seriously downgrading in one position, whereas making a couple of moves to free up budget to get him in for 25 makes my side look a lot more balanced. Ben.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing, doesn't it?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant move. The 12th man, I wish I kept my 12th man to use on an expensive player where you can't afford to get him in one move, something like that. I was going to hold him I did plan to hold my 12th man for when KDB just comes back, and then I could just bang him in because he was so expensive. But there was Haaland got injured, and there was loads of injuries. Salah went to AFCON, and Son gone as well. So, yeah. But that's a brilliant 12th man. And like you say, he's got his little plan worked out there. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, I think you've asked the question and you really answered it well yourself, David. Scott.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've got the plan down, but I've put that I'd only probably 12th man him if you see a leak that he's starting, because you don't want to have, you want your 12th man to play twice, don't you?
Yeah,
really, or start twice at least. So do you think there's a chance that you might get a week where you could get 2 games out of him, or 2 games out of a premium? Maybe start with all 3 Liverpool up top. Yeah, but I think you've got the plan down. It's just whether or not he starts, whether or not he's fit.
Yeah, like you say, if you hear a leak he's starting, he's going to start the first game. There's a good possibility he starts the second game, so you're going to get quite a few minutes out of him. If he's not starting, don't forget, obviously, a lot of other managers are going to hear the same thing, that he's not starting, and they probably won't bring him in. So I wouldn't be too scared of Salah, and I wouldn't use my 12th man unless you hear he's starting in that first one. Good shout, Scott. James McClure is back. Question 2. Most will be captain Haaland next week. If he wasn't on the game, who in your current team gets the armband for the next game week? At the current team, before I make any transfers next game week, it would be Saka in my eyes. What about you, Ben?
That was the question we covered earlier, mate. Yeah. About the captaincy. Like we said before.
Who did you go for without Haaland?
I said probably Saka, just because he's definitely going to get 2 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, closer to the deadline, we'll know a bit more who's going to play.
Yeah, Scott, your current 11.
Yeah, well, I said Jota, didn't I? But the thing is, though, if he was, I'm being, if he wasn't on the game, then you'd go Alvarez because he starts too. But
yeah, true.
If you couldn't pick, if it's just if you're in a league where you can't pick Haaland or something like that, you've made this little rule up. Then I'd go Jota.
That's a good idea for a league, though. I like that.
I'm sure someone in our Discord had said it, or something about
He's just not allowed Haaland.
He's not allowed. Yeah, as like a little bit of a handicap. Like if you smash your league this year, they might suggest that you can't have Haaland.
But then you can't do that, can you? With only one team. That's when you had the zombie leagues and all other stuff. You're only one side. You can't really enter leagues like that, can you?
There was a guy I heard on a podcast that he's in the top 10 in the FPL, and he didn't pick Haaland all season.
Wow. What? Didn't pick him or captain him?
Not even had him in his squad at all season. And he's in the top 10 of FPL at one point. I don't know how that was a few weeks ago, but it's still incredible.
Sorted him out that he's been injured for a little while, I guess.
Yeah.
Just a quick question in the chat from James McClure. Robertson or Van Dijk? Ben?
Tricky at the moment, obviously, because Robertson's coming back from injury, but Robertson does look like a lot more involved with the points-wise, chances created, gets against some tackle points this week as well. So he could be the one because he could get a few assists and that, the odd goal. I mean, Van Dijk's decent, but he only gets the odd goal from a set piece, doesn't he? Really, he doesn't really get many bonus points. So yeah, Robertson. Hopefully, if he played 90 minutes, didn't he? Come off right at the end of the match, so that should be him back in the team. But like I say, I really think there's going to be rotation in that Luton game before the Carabao Cup final. I think maybe Gomez is going to come in for Robertson there, but longer term, I would like to have Robertson.
The only thing, because I thought same with the Luton game, obviously, before the cup final, one eye on cup final. But this Premier League is so tight at the minute. And can Klopp really afford to underestimate a Luton side that has really, like, they've played well against the top sides. You know as well as that, won't you, Scott, in an Arsenal fan? Like they've really, like, with the better sides, they've done well. And if Liverpool do take them lightly, they could be throwing away the Premier League title for the Carabao Cup. So I don't know. There's just something where I think that week does he not just go full strength, back to back Luton and then the cup final? I don't know. It is an opportunity, like you say. It's an opportunity to rest, and if he's going to rest players, that's the game to pick, in it. Just be careful though, Klopp. You don't want to spoil the party, do you? For me, I'm hoping it's VVD. But if you give me the choice and I didn't have either in my side, Robertson. Obviously, Van Dijk gets some shots on target now and again, but he just doesn't. He doesn't pick up much else other than clean sheets and shots on target. Right, that leads nicely. DT Patrick. Hold on, no, I've bloody skipped down 2. 1 second, lads. Right, I'm dying here. Nathan Wisby, your early transfer plans for game week 24 could be injuries, still 2 games to go, but your very early thoughts, Scott?
Yeah, well, like I said when I was doing my sort of team update, it's going to be the reverse of what I was thinking this week, really. I'm going to want to get Stupinian out for Walker, I'm pretty sure. And I was thinking of doing Palmer to... I still haven't decided It was between Rodri, Doku, and Bernardo. I feel more like it's going to be Rodri or Doku. But then if Silva ends up smashing it against Copenhagen, it's going to be an even tougher decision. But for me, it's going to be a Stupinian out and Palmer out, as long as Trent is fine. But I've got doing all right for budget. So if Salah does come back, I'll probably change Nunes to Salah if he's starting.
Yep.
I've got 3 single game week players next week. So I've got Palmer, Dubravka, and Trippier. So it's between them 3. If I take Palmer out, I could bring in Saka, maybe Diaz, Doku, or Bernardo Silva. And then if I take Dubravka out, I'm going to go to Ederson just for the extra games. And if I take Trippier out, it'll be a Liverpool or a Man City defender. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Yeah, and mine, because I'm struggling a little bit because of formation, so I'm on 3-4-3. Cunha, obviously, I need to know more about his injury. He's away at Spurs next time. So I want a Liverpool forward. So say my early plan is possibly Cunha to Jota. That leaves me then with 2 singlers in Estupiñán and Palmer. Obviously, Trippier is a singler, but I'm keeping him. So Estupiñán and Palmer. If I switch Estupiñán, I'll be switching him to a defender, which would be Trent, which is a little bit risky now, knowing what I wanted Trent in, but now not knowing what I know, I don't think it's the wisest to move. Or I could move Palmer onto another City midfielder, one that I've wanted for a while, which is Doku, for his double.
You've got to get him in at some point.
I don't want to.
You're going to regret it.
I know. I think he's holding back until I put him in. I'm hoping so.
He was good. He was really good that game.
So if I change Estupiñán, there's no other. I have to bring a defender in, and I just think it's a boring move. He's away at Sheffield United. He could, if he plays, he could well get a clean sheet there, and then he's on to a double the week after. So kind of like talking myself into leaving a Stupinan as we're going along here. So
After we've badmouthed him for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, slagged him off completely. But then I might be on here next week saying, "Oh yeah, my mate Stupinan, he's a nice little haul against Sheffield United." But yeah, it depends how attacking I want to go. But I do want a Liverpool attacker in, which I'm guessing will be Jota. Salah doesn't scare me too much at the minute, if I'm honest. So yeah, Jota, and then just see whether it doesn't fill me with any excitement bringing a City defender in. I brought Ederson in because he's a nice, safe thing, and I didn't have much else to sort out.
And you'll get
I've played without a keeper for about, was it 9 weeks? Yeah. Played without a keeper, so yeah. That's where my plans are lying at the minute. Right. DT Patrick. Excuse me. I've already got Jota and Nunez, but when Salah returns, which one should make way? It's tricky, that. So tricky. There's going to be a lot of rotation up there in the Scott, so who do you reckon?
I've got the same scenario because I've got both. I've got Jota, I've got Darwin, and I've got Haaland. And I was trying to have a little look at this because this is the question I think a lot of people are going to be asking, and it's so tight. So I was looking on FF stuff. You can look at the top point scorers between a certain period. And over the last 4 game weeks, Jota's got 56 points and Darwin's got 53 over the last 4 weeks. So there's nothing really to separate them on the last 4 weeks. Average points, barely anything. 5.9 for Jota, 5.5 for Darwin. So I just keep flip-flopping between the two of them, really. I think that I'd keep Jota and get rid of Darwin. I just think Jota's a bit more clinical.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a little weird stat I was looking at because you can see that you get shot on target points, don't you?
Yeah.
Nunez has had 49 shots on target, scored 12 goals. Jota's had 23 shots on target and scored 14. So that's like Jota's had like 9 of his shots saved and scored 14 of them, whereas Nunez has had like 37 shots saved.
And that's not including the ones that hit the post.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's more clinical, Jota.
Yeah, I think the question is tough because you're not on the basis of the stats and the points that they're getting. So there's 3 points between them over that period of time. You're actually just picking and guessing who's going to get more minutes.
Yeah,
really, who's going to get more game time because they're both. While Salah's been away, they're both getting similar game time, and they're both doing very well. Whose minutes are going to drop off the most with Salah returning? And I think that's where the answer is.
I still don't know if it's that. Yeah, I still don't. That's the logic, but it's still so hard to know the answer.
Yeah,
I was trying to look at the heat
we'd be
map.
guessing.
I was looking at the positions and the heat maps, and it's like Darwin has been playing as that striker, and I think whenever Darwin and Jota have been on the pitch, Jota's been on the right where Salah would be. But it still doesn't mean that Salah doesn't come in and they put Jota through the middle.
No.
So yeah, it is a guess, isn't it? It's a guess.
Yeah,
really, I think.
Darwin looks better on the left as well, doesn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, I was looking at them stats, and Jota's only had 17 starts and 14 goals, and Nunez has had 22 starts and 12 goals, which is still a decent record.
Yeah,
but look at if you had to put your money on one of them score a penalty for you, who would you pick?
Darwin stepped up.
I know where I put my money. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well,
you'd have your hands over your eyes if Nunez is taking a penalty, wouldn't you?
I think Klopp did. I think when Darwin took that one the other day, I think Klopp does it anyway. But he turned around. They panned. He wasn't looking.
He just waits the crowd reaction, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah, there you are. That's a tricky one, that, Patrick. Really is tricky.
Flip a coin.
I mean, go off what I said in the on my early plans for game week 24, and I said I was looking to bring in Jota. I didn't say I was looking to bring in Nunes, so there's my answer. Aman, should we get 3.4 million Robertson in next week? Is he someone on your list, Ben?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's looks quite good in that last match anyway. So yeah, he's definitely one to look at. And eventually, I would imagine he'll nail that left back spot down. Like looking at Man City defenders, he's just a bit, which ones are going to start every game. And Robertson's a bit more attacking than any of the Man City defenders I can think of. It's not like we've got a Cancelo there now or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, Robertson's a good one. Good price.
Yeah. Scott?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we sort of covered it, but like, if it was for next week, I wouldn't go Robertson. I do agree that he's like brilliant. He's doing quite well, but I mean, I've had Tsimikas got injured. I've had Gomez who's had the flu. I bring Trent in who's just been out injured, and then he got subbed before the 60th and subbed at half time. I'll just get to be honest, if I wanted a Liverpool, I'd go VVD at the minute just because I know he's going to start and he seems healthy for the moment at least. I just wait.
Sneezing on him.
Yeah, I'll just wait until I see him playing a run of constant games. Tsimikas is back as well now, and he came on.
Yeah.
I think I'd avoid it for the moment just until we see he's fully fit.
Yeah. Don't like. When I bring in defenders, they've got to be nailed. Got to be completely nailed. I don't want any doubts lingering around because they're mostly boring moves unless you're bringing in a Trent or a Trippier, someone who can make some out of nothing. But he's a very good option at 3.4 million Robertson. Definitely won't take that away from him. Wadey, 12th man booster. I'm looking at Nunes next week for his double or holding a bit longer for game week 27 for Solanke and his nice home double. What's the best option, lads? Do you reckon, Ben?
But I don't like it. I don't like Nunez. I'm not spaffing my 12th man on Nunez. Didn't you do that, Scott?
Yeah, I've got experience. I've been there. It ain't fun. He got me 7 points across a double game week. So on paper, his double game week when I done my 12th man on Nunes, it was Fulham at home and Sheffield away. Looks good, doesn't it? That's a good double prem double. It is. I think he got 3 points in 3 points in 90 minutes against Fulham, and that was in a 4-3 win. So he only got 3 points when they scored 4 goals. And then it was off the bench in the Sheffield United game, and he got me 4 points for an assist. But yeah, 7 points in 2 games against Sheffield and Fulham. It weren't fun at all.
Yeah. The Solanke one's a bit. It's a bit of a maverick one. I wouldn't do it. I like more of the idea of using it when you can't afford to get a really good player in. Maybe if you can't get Salah in, and you're not too sure that he's going to play both games, maybe you could bring him in. But he's got a good double game week next week. But yeah, you want someone who plays both games really. What do you think, Tony?
I like the Solanke shout.
I do.
Just because. So it depends where you are, and what you're trying to get out of the season. So obviously, if you're top of mini leagues and you're quite close to winning a few quid or whatever, I wouldn't be taking too many risks, and that possibly wouldn't be the way I used it. But if, like me, I'm looking for these little chances to maybe just catch up 20, 30 places on the main leaderboard and try to get into that top 50. I think that's a decent opportunity. I don't know how many people, what the stats are, how many people have a 12th man left, but is it Sheffield United and Luton, I think, is the double in it for Bournemouth. And Solanke's having one of his best seasons, goal scoring wise. Yeah, I'd if it were out of the two, I'd much rather use the Solanke route.
Yeah, because you don't have to keep him the week after.
Yeah, so it's not even, like you say, not even booking a transfer, and is it? It's it's a punt. And
you know,
I say a punt. That's possibly a little bit cheeky, that, to Solanke, because he's been doing so well. It's not. They're two very good fixtures, and people on form. I think if Bournemouth go into that game, they play Burnley in 26 beforehand, off a good result against Burnley. I think it's a very good option, Worthy. I like it.
I was going to just add on that one as well. Looking at that double looks good, and you'd think that people would jump on it. But if we've got the big three up top doing well, you've also got Europe that week. No one's going to take out their European players to go Solanke, or not very many will. So you've probably got a free run at a doubler who's on pens that barely anyone else is going to choose.
Massive differential. Massive.
Yeah. I like it. I do like it.
Go for it.
Keep that up your sleeve there, Worthy.
I reckon it would beat my Darwin 7 points. I do.
Well, I mean, there's that as well. He's nailed to start.
Yeah.
Nailed on penalties. He's going to play for 90 minutes both games. Unless you get really unfortunate and there's an injury at first game, but yeah, I'd look at that. I like that, Worthy. Let's scroll it down. Jesus Christ. Saul Higgins, how much City is too much City, Ben?
Yeah, I was looking at this. You probably get away with 8 City. The max, I would say. I think you want to have, eventually, Salah, Trent and Saka in there. They're the three that are not City players. I think you could get away with 8 max. 2 City defenders, Edison, KDB, Foden, Rodri, Alvarez, Haaland. I think you could do it. What do you think, Tony?
I just think there's a lot of teams within. So obviously we know City have got all these back-to-back doubles.
Yeah.
But then within them doubles, there is other teams doubling. So having, say, I don't know, a Rodri for a double, would you not be better off just having, rather than putting that person in, just have City back-to-back doubles? Would it not be better off to switch that Rodri between, say, I don't know, so like an Arsenal midfielder this week, and then next week when there's a double, maybe a Newcastle player, maybe Trippier drop back to a 4, and then game week 26 you can jump across to a Brighton defender, or, do you know what I mean, and just move them around and have somebody who's possibly going to start. I know Rodri's obviously nailed, so Rodri's probably a bad example. So say Doku, and have somebody who's nailed in a team, but still getting doublers all the way through these same game weeks. Don't forget we get 2 transfers every single week. I just think, for me, if you're saying how many is too many, I think 8's too many. In my eyes, it might work, it might not, but just I think 6 is probably a good number. I think that's only probably because I don't like the defence. They've got too many defenders available, and as we know, it's not a case of come on as a sub and you get a clean sheet anymore. It's a case of if you do not start that game or play, it's 60 minutes, sorry. If you don't play 60 minutes in that game, you're not getting your clean sheet points. So times have changed with them City defenders. Too dangerous. I don't like it. I don't like going there. So, yes. Scott, I don't know if you've heard any of that question.
No, sorry. I know which one you're on. I obviously don't know what you answered though. But how much City is too much City? Well, I think if it's just stopping you from having the main guys like a Saka, for example, in a double, you're going to get 2 lots of 90 out of him, or potentially keeping you out of reach of Salah when he's back. But one thing I did see, and it probably follows on from what you were just saying there, but actually, bit of trivia for you both. So, little one. I know Ben loves a little quiz,
trivia,
mini question. There's actually only 4 City players in the top 50 players in the game. Can you name them all?
Foden and Haaland have got to be up there.
Yeah, one more. The other one's obvious as well.
Alvarez.
That's the main 3. And then there's one who's in 49th place out of the top 50.
Is that Bernardo?
Close. It's not Bernardo.
Rodri.
Doku.
Rodri. It's Rodri. So there's they're all chipping away and doing okay, aren't they? But there's a lot of players that are better off than them. Rodri in 49th place. It just surprised me. I was having a little look through all the players, and I thought there'd be a few more up there.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the amount of games to this point as well City have played in comparison to other teams.
Mm.
So you could probably get a gist of the rotation and how it's affecting their points. Yeah, because obviously now they've got a set of 4 weeks of doubles. So it is, if you're going to go heavy on City, it is a good point to. But yeah, I just think you can get more nailed players and possibly use the 2 transfers just to move them around rather than having 2 City lads sat there and them having played, I don't know, 80 minutes across 2 games or 90 minutes across 2 games. But you know, it's guesswork because they could go the next 4 or 5 games winning 5-0 each time and racking up loads and loads of bonus points. We don't know. David 87 back. Doku or Diaz as a Palmer replacement? You reckon, Scott?
I prefer Doku. I don't know what it is. There's something about Diaz and this game that doesn't seem to go as well. But he's ahead on points. Diaz is ahead on points. But yeah, I think Doku looks like such a good player. Was it 33 bonus points, 4 goals, 6 assists? But he's played a lot less games. But yeah, I just fancy Doku. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah, Ben.
I'm the opposite. I like Diaz more just because he's more nailed and he's on a bit of form at the minute. He's scoring a few goals. And obviously the fixtures are really nice for Liverpool. I just think he's a bit more nailed. I don't like. I mean, Doku's good, yeah, but it's just when is he going to play? It's just annoying.
Yeah,
like he probably won't start in the Champions League because he started at the weekend, but it was an easy fixture, wasn't it? So I just can't see him get started in the main 11. I think it's going to be Foden.
Probably 1 and 1 off the bench, isn't it?
Yeah, 1 and 1 off the bench. Yeah, he can score bonus points, a lot of bonus points, but it just annoys me when you go, he's on the bench again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got like when I haven't had Rodri, I've had Rodri the second time I've had Rodri this season, and he goes through the season just playing every game. And then he scored 6 goals and 6 assists this season. And every time he scores, I go, fuck, I had him. And then if you just leave him in there and he just ticks along with like 10 points every week. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know my answer. I love the guy. I think Doku's unbelievable. And I think he's obviously come back from an injury as well. And his game time hasn't been as much as we'd hope. But I'm hoping if he can get a good run, a few 90s consecutively under his belt, he's an absolute magnet for bonus points and other stuff. He's electric. I love him to bits. I think he's brilliant. I think he's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Doku. And Diaz's place comes under a little bit of threat with Salah returning because they do start to rotate more. And I think Liverpool, dare I say it, have looked a lot better without Salah, I think, in a way. They've had more of a settled front line. I think there's quite an understanding up there between them players now. I won't be in a rush to get Salah back.
Yeah, there's five of them, Gakpo as well.
Yeah, because you're going to throw Gakpo into the mix as well, aren't you? Yeah.
And Harvey Elliott's been playing some time on the right as well, hasn't he? But obviously,
2 assists against Burnley.
Yeah,
he knows. He knows. He loves Rovers. What a guy. Right, read this next question out because I need to go for a pee and grab myself a beer.
Do you want to do it, Ben?
Yeah. Nathan Wisby, if Salah is 100% to play versus Brentford, are you bringing him in this week? And if so, who are you taking him out for?
I think we've done this about 3 times, haven't we?
Yeah.
A variation of it, but it's so hard to pick. I've got Jota and Darwin up top. I think I'd get Darwin out and keep Jota. But the only thing I would say is, depending on leaks, I feel like if Jota, I don't know if this is it's probably not the right logic, but I feel like if I saw Jota was benched there and then, I probably would just take Jota out, and because at least for that game, you're not sure what's going to happen in the next one. But yeah, between Jota and Darwin, there's barely anything to choose from, I don't think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, mine's Alvarez and Jota in it. So
you do it. You got the budget.
Yeah. I can afford Salah, but I don't know if I'm going to bring him in if he's back. Just because, and obviously, if Jota's playing, I'm not going to take Jota out, and if Alvarez is playing, I'm not going to take him out. So, if Alvarez plays in the Champions League as well, then that's 2 double game weeks. Do you know what I mean? I think he's nailed in that team, and obviously, it's an important match this week. So, but if they smash Copenhagen in that first game, then Alvarez minutes might get like a bit less in the return leg. So yeah, tricky one. But then again, they might want to rest KDB because they want him to be able to play the rest of the season. They don't want to push him too much, so they just play Alvarez in the KDB role. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not too sure I'm going to bring him in, but it's between Alvarez and Jota.
Yeah, I think I'll only bring Salah if he's definitely starting. I won't bring him in if he's on the bench, which is funny because when Haaland was coming back, I think I didn't hesitate to bring him in. So yeah, with Salah, I kind of want to see him on the pitch first.
Yeah, I'm also wanting to get as many double game week players in my team. So if those front 3 I've got are looking to be nailed, I don't know if I'd bring Salah in straight away.
Just seeing Nathan in the chat saying, oh wait, is that Diaz from City? He's saying Diaz 1 yellow card away from a Champions League match ban. He read. Do they follow on from the groups into the knockouts? Do they?
I'm not too sure.
I can't remember when they refresh them, but yeah.
Rachel's put a couple of questions in the chat.
Would you consider any Arsenal defenders? I was thinking about this because once this City second fixture's done, Arsenal are not that far away from them on fixtures. If you go all the way to the Porto game, for example, when Arsenal play theirs, And then you know that Saliba, for example, or Gabriel is going to play every single one of them.
Yeah.
Where you'd probably say that any of your City players would get at least one bench in. So I do think there is a fairly decent argument to go for one of the Arsenal defenders. But the Arsenal defenders, you're probably only going to go for the centre-backs, aren't you?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's got to only be one defender if you're going to do it. But it's the thing, because Liverpool and Man City double twice, while Arsenal are singles in 25 and 26. No FA Cup, no Champions League until 27. And then in 28, if Chelsea beat Leeds in the FA Cup, Arsenal blank in that game week. So that's another thing to look out for. So don't go mad bringing Arsenal defenders in. Not yet anyway. So, yeah, if you want to bring one in, like Saliba or Gabriel, they're nailed, aren't they? But, yeah, just be careful.
This is the thing, is like, just touching on one of the last questions, is that, so if you've got, excuse me, quite a heavy City team, like, there's no harm in, say, bringing, I don't know, Saliba in for this game week for the double, take him back out next week for somebody else who's doubling, and just keep dotting them around, and leave your City lads in to double through the next 4 weeks, and just rotate, I don't know, maybe 2 players within your squad, and pick 2 for that week. Because having a one of them Arsenal centre halves wouldn't be too bad of a shout for Burnley away, Porto away. Could sneak a clean sheet in there. They're always a threat from, I think, are they the highest scoring team from set plays in Premier League at the minute?
15 set piece goals. No Premier League side scored more from set pieces, excluding pens. And then Burnley have been one of the worst for conceding from set pieces as well.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Trafford flapping at one.
I was just about to say that.
I mean, yeah.
And then he looks at the ref, doesn't he? Then he looks at the ref.
Oh, it infuriates me with keepers doing that. They've got such an advantage. They've got their arms and their hands to come and grab them balls. Like, you don't need any more help. If you come out, you got to get it. Like, tough if you miss it. But yeah.
Ben White as well. Ben White is gonna do a number on Trafford. Like, is it the week after next? Isn't it? Because today he's done it multiple times. Was it when we played against Leicester, Ben? That time where he was holding on to his glove.
I don't know.
I can't remember who it was we played, but basically Arsenal scored a goal. I'm sure it was against Leicester, and it got disallowed in the end. And when they looked on VAR, the keeper come for it, and Ben White was holding on to his glove to stop him. And we scored it. They went back and ruled it out. But he started doing it again. I've been seeing him do it. When I went to the game the other day, I saw him do it. He's like basically just giving the keeper a little nudge, keeps nudging the keeper over and over again. But then he did it today. If you watch back, he done it on Areola today, and there's one that he comes out for, but he gives him a little bit of a shove, and his jump just goes completely out of the way. Yeah, I can see him doing that to Trafford. Someone as flappy as him.
Yeah. Could be a cricket score. Right, that's the end of the questions. One from you though, Scott.
Oh yeah. I just put this in there because like the time of the season that we're in. But
yeah,
are you boys looking at changing up your strategy for the moment? Are you going to start trying to maybe take a few more risks, or are you planning to kind of, while it's mostly just City for the moment, or the Champions League guys, are you going to just play the fixtures? Any sort of changes in how you're going to play at the moment based on where your rank is or anything?
For me, as I touched on a little bit earlier, is like things like that Solanke thing popping up, something like that. Like I think over the last probably 6-7 weeks, with the Kudos, then the Cunha, and just putting in a differential. I always want to be holding one because I'm never going to get anywhere if I don't. It's so hard to chase in this game. The lads at the top, the overall leaderboard, they might feel the pressure of trying to hold everybody off. But it's so tough to chase. You always need someone that's a little bit different. Saka's done the business this week, whilst Cunha got injured. A lot of teams are heavy City, so I don't really fear that. I see it is a little bit of an opportunity. So yeah, I wouldn't say my strategy's changed. I'm still playing probably 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, especially all the injuries. Yeah, just trying to pick out a player with some good fixtures who's on form, something different to the rest. That's just the way I'm going at it, because I want to try my best to get as far up the league as possible. As I've said before, I think it was last season. Do you know what I'm thinking? Am I angry about last season? Because it was Ivan Toney that I brought in. I brought in Ivan Toney to go different to Harry Kane, I think it was. I don't know what position it was, like 25th or whatever I was. I had to go different because I'm going nowhere. You're just like treading water. So he didn't lose out too badly to Kane, but it just didn't work. I think he finished 49th overall. Same. So this season I'll be looking to take some punts the same. I'd rather drop down to 500th and have had a do than finish 100th. All right, you Ben. He's cracking one off, isn't he?
I can tell from the face.
I was trying to burp. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to keep playing the fixtures and trying to get extra games out of players. That's the way I normally play it. Obviously, I will look for the odd differential, like the Olise captaincy we did a few weeks ago. But yeah, there's a couple of opportunities coming up, but I'm not too sure whether to bring in Saka this week or go against it, because obviously it's a transfer in this week. Obviously, he's got a nice double, but then he's got 2 singles the week after that and the week after that. So I know it's Sheffield United, one of the singles though. So do you just count that as a double?
Yeah.
Well, this is it, and that's what he's done this week, hasn't he? He's given us a double game week score in a single game week, and
he's a Sheffield and Burnley, isn't it? Burnley and Newcastle and Sheffield, isn't it?
Yeah,
the two of the best fixtures, really.
There's no other players at the minute that are jumping out at me apart from Saka. So yeah, he's looking like Saka in at the minute, and then I'll reassess next week. Yeah. That's it. Look at getting as many double game week players as you can. That's what I'm doing, and it's working for me because I'm creeping up the table of the rankings.
Yeah. How about yourself, Scott? Was your question, but
yeah, well, it's just. I mean, obviously, the backstory. When I've been listening to you guys for a while, and that's how I started getting a lot better at playing the game, really, because I was always in like the thousands, I think, until I started listening to your pod, and then I think I crept to like 460, and then last year I managed 350, and now I'm sort of on for my best finish, but I've never really been around this sort of mark. Like, I know I've got the bloody YouTube channel and all that, but it's not. I haven't got it because I'm a great player or anything like that. It's just because I love it. But well, I'm at like 350 now, and I'm finding myself thinking about things differently and maybe overthinking things at times. Trying to, like you said, like I've had a week where I took Watkins out, and it's really damaged me. And I've dropped like 200 places. But then it feels like sometimes you have a good week, and then you look at the leaderboard and you've gone up. Well, like I've had a good day today, and I've gone up like 20 odd places or something, and you're like, oh. Yeah. So you realize you've got to do something a little bit different. It feels like if you go against the grain and it goes wrong, you plummet hundreds. But then if you do something a little bit right, when you get near the top, it feels like it don't make much difference. So I think for me, I probably am happy. I know you said you're going to want to try and win it or go for it or foul, but for me, where I've not had that many good finishes, I would quite like to just improve a little bit, have another year around the mark, and then maybe go for it another season. But yeah, it's just
You might not get this chance again, though, Scott.
You might not. No, definitely not. But
we'll get closer to the end of the season, and you might change your mind, and you might start going for it.
Yeah, I guess you don't learn until you've been there, though, do you?
£50,000 for the winner.
True.
Yeah, and it's if you finish in 500th, it's 0.
Yeah.
If you finish in 120th, it's 0.
If you finish second, it's £1,000. Now they've changed it, haven't they? If you finish second, it's £1,000, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I thought there was still a step down prize. Was it not? Is it not like 15 grand to second? I don't know.
I think it was the top 22, wasn't it, or something like that? Got £1,000.
Hang on.
Yeah, it goes all the way down to 25th. The prizes.
Nah, look. So season first place 50k, second place to 21st, £1,000 each.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You won't want to lose. I mean, you'll be happy with. No, you wouldn't be happy with £1,000, would you? If you finish second.
That's a bit harsh. A bit of a harsh jump down, isn't it?
I thought they still paid 15k to second.
Yeah.
That's harsh. It probably a yellow card that does it as well. Dodgy yellow card. Time wasting.
Right, should we do some leagues?
Oh yeah, shit. Mini leagues. Let's go. Who's first?
Which one do you want to start with? I could do our cash league.
Cash league, yeah.
Tonic cash league. Top 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
In third place, we've got C. Tobin. In second, G. Payne. And in first, we've got S. Powell. I think that's Sean cleaning up our prizes recently.
He is, isn't he? He is. Doing well.
I said we might have to set him up a standing order, I said.
Yeah, that was two months running that, weren't it? Yeah. Joint first last month, and then first last month, joint first the previous month. So right, the Patreon only cash league. In third, Lee Giles, second Connor Tobin, and first Ben Coles.
Second chance league. T. Gledhill, S. Powell, and T. Hemmings top.
Good start. Second chance league for him.
Or I'll do tag. Is that all right?
Yeah,
probably best.
Third place, Connor and myself.
Hey.
Come on. All of our boosters used though. Second, we've got Lewis Wright and Matthew Kent. And in first place, we've got Baz McCormack and Ben Coles. And Baz has still got 2 boosters left as well. They're going to be
bloody hell, Baz.
Tonic Premier League. O'Higgins third. Second, Scott Harris. And first, Ben Coles.
Nice.
And in the Tonic Championship, in fourth, we've got Tony. Hey! No. Third, we've got Jay McGow. Second, Connor Story. And top of the shop, Aaron Wade, who's having a cracking season. Trying to qualify for that Champions League next season.
And in League One, Lee Giles third, Mark Warner second, and Graham Payne first.
Happy days. I think that's them all covered, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got Patreon Cup as well.
Yeah, Patreon Cup soon. Obviously got a Champions League next season as well.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. A bit of a shorter model compared to the Patreon Cup though. But details will be going out for the Patreon Cup very, 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 very soon. Make sure you keep your eye on the Patreon Cup section within the Discord, where all the invites and all the details will be put out, because you have to put your name forward to be entered. We've got the Dream Team Tonic meetup, which is a little over a month away now, in Coventry, St Patrick's Day, Sunday the 17th of March. We'll be, I think we're meeting in Wetherspoons, are we, at 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
There is, for anybody who's making the way up or way down, wherever you're coming from, and you're wanting to stay over, what's the hotel name, Ben? It's the Premier Inn, just across from the train station. Nice, cheap enough rooms there if you wanted to stay over and then get the train back on the day after. We'll be taking in a pro ice hockey game between the Coventry Blaze and the Sheffield Steelers. Should be good. Be a nice bit of fun. And yeah, just some drinks and some food, and all have a meet up and talk some Dream Team, watch the footy. Should be a good day. I don't know how it's working, but over at footyfits.co.uk, I have started uploading the Dream Team Tonic podcast merchandise. So I've got up there a tumbler, a mug, a hoodie, which can be personalised with your initials. So if you do purchase a hoodie, there'll be a t-shirt and other things, hats and stuff. If you do want to personalise them, you just drop us a message with your initials or anything really. If you want to tweak it, you know what I mean. I'm very flexible that way. Just let us know. But footyfits.co.uk, there is a section for Dream Team Tonic merch. I have connected the site to YouTube. I don't know how it works though, so that's a work in progress. Whether it just pops up or during the pod, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Find out soon.
Yeah. And that's all, lads.
Just to add, the Wetherspoons pub is called the Spongate.
There we go. The Spongate, meeting at Spongate, 12 o'clock.
Get on the Guinness.
I could just picture that thing. Have you seen that thing where people tell people their table number and they send them random stuff?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Ben loves a portion of peas. just send random stuff to the table number.
Mushy peas.
Brilliant. We'll have to get on
Cool.
that. Love it. Yeah, so we'll be there. We're all booked in at the hotel. Obviously, the game is courtesy of Jordan Jackson. Very kindly sponsored. We sponsor a Coventry Blaze player, Brady Norris, the captain. So he dons our logo on the back of his jersey. So yeah, it's going to be an experience. First ever pro ice hockey game. So looking forward to it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Everyone who's joined us in the live chat. Hopefully we've got any questions. We've dug it out of them comments and you've enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully the rest of your game week goes well. And on to next week. Have a good one.
Cheers, everyone.